Shalom Aleichem everyone. I hope everyone had a wonderful, wonderful week. It is Parshas Tisa. And I want to open up with a very well-known story, but perhaps you haven't heard it. It's a beautiful story. Rav Shimon Schwab, when he was a youngster, he had the opportunity to spend a very, very beautiful Shabbos with the Chafetz Chaim, Rav Yisrael Meir Kagan HaKohen. And Rav Shimon Schwab was in his teens, perhaps. The Chafetz Chaim was already an elderly man, and they spent the Shabbos together, and many experiences that Rav Shimon Schwab had, the leader of the Yekisha community in Washington Heights, at that Shabbos he used to share over stories. And one story he tells over is, over the course of that Shabbos, the Chafetz Chaim asked Rav Shimon Schwab, "Are you a Kohen?" He answered, "No, not a Kohen." "Are you a Levi?" "No, not a Levi." "You're Yisrael." "Yes." Chafetz Chaim said, "That's too bad, because soon Mashiach is coming. And when Mashiach comes, we're all going to be running to Yerushalayim. And we're all going to be running to see the beautiful rebuilt Beis HaMikdash, and we're all going to be clamoring to get in. And then, as we get to the Kodesh, as we get to the Heichal, you're going to want to come in too, but there's going to be a guard there at the door that says, you can't come in. I'm going to want to go in, and they're going to let me in. Because after all, I, Rabbi Yisrael Meir Kagan HaKohen, I'm a Kohen. So I'll be able to go in and do the avoda in the Beis HaMikdash. Others are going to have to stay on the outside, not go in and do the avoda itself." So the Chafetz Chaim tells over this story. Why? What was it about? What was his message? To just somehow express some kind of one-upsmanship on the teenager of Shimon Schwab? Certainly not. So he went on to explain, the reason I am going to be able to do the avodah and you're not is because of what happened 3,000 years ago to our respective great-great-great-great-grandparents. And we just received the luchos at Kabbalas HaTorah, and unfortunately the Jewish people engaged in the construction of the Egel Hazav, this week's Parsha. And Moshe had to put an end to it, and he made a call. He called on different members of Klal Yisrael, Mila Hashem Elai. That was the clarion call, Mila Hashem Elai. And members of Shevet Levi, 3,000 members of Shevet Levi, stepped to the plate and said, yes, we're with you, Moshe. We are here to serve. We are. In that call of Mila Hashem Elai, yes, let it be us. And as a result of that, stepping up to the plate, when the demands were great, when the need was there, so my great-great-great-grandparents from Shevet Levi, they stepped up to the plate, they answered that call. And because of that, they were given kahuna. And now as a result, generation after generation, so it's passed down, and today I'm a Kohen because my Alter Zaidi, way back when, he answered that call. So the Chafetz Chaim was not here to send a message to Rav Shimon Schwab that therefore my ancestry, my yichus is better than yours. That wasn't the message. The message that he was expressing, that Rav Shimon Schwab took, is that there'll be certain points in life when we'll be asked to answer the call. When perhaps there'll be a stressful situation, a situation that demands action, that demands a response, that demands stepping up to the plate. And the reality is, much of the world are what I like to call wallflowers. We're followers. We go with the flow. Whatever is in vogue, that's what we tend to do. And then there are those people who are the people that are willing to step up to the plate and do answer the call. And those are the ones, when they do so, not only does it benefit them, but the ripple effects that can have, generation after generation after generation, can be quite dramatic. So that was the message that Chafetz Chaim was sharing with his young Talmud, that there'll be moments when you, young Rav Shimon Schwab, will have to step up to the plate. Opportunities to take action, to lead, to be bigger than you even see yourself. And when you take those steps, the impact that you can have is going to be dramatic, not just felt by you, by the people around you, but the ripple effects go very far. And I think that's a very fundamental message. And you see this throughout life. And I was thinking, again, as I find myself now in the last 2.5 weeks of Avelos for my father, Harini Kaparas Mishkavo. And I think about little things over the course of my father's life that he planted, small seeds that He planted in me and my siblings, that my mother also planted in us as well, and seeing that sometimes you don't always see that growth right away. You don't always see the impact right away, but as you mature, as you grow up, those seeds really, really get planted. I think to myself, again, the beginning of this week's parsha, we read about the machatzis hashekel, and the donation that was given every single day, v'nosnu ish kofer lafshol Hashem bivkot osam, and we give over the machatzis hashekel, and then the Torah tells ha'oshir lo yarbe v'hadal lo yamit. It was a uniform amount for every single person. It harkens back to, again, I remember being in shul every single morning. My father was very much a shul goer, and there'd always be something put in the pushka, some amount, $1 a day, a quarter a day, whatever that amount was, that machatzis hashekel. And again, it established an indelible impression that as a youngster, seeing my father do that on a daily basis, that machatzis hashekel, and harken back to what a Hasidic idea, that first of all, vinasnu, the word vinasnu, when you give, vav, nun, saf, nun, vav, it's a palindrome. It can be read the same way backwards and forwards, because vinasnu, when you're a giver, ultimately you receive. And the word machatzis hashekel. So the giving, it's dafka a machatzis, a partial amount, because the giving helps complete people. It brings people together. I'm insufficient on my own. I need the recipient, and the recipient needs me. And it creates that bondedness, creates the whole. The very name machatzis, a beautiful, beautiful word. That the middle letter is a tzadi, tzedakah. That's where we want to cleave to. That's what we want to get to. The next two letters next to the tzadi, ches and yud, chai. If you link into tzedakah, you connect yourself to tzedakah, you're close to tzedakah, then chet, yud, chai, the most distant letters of machatzis. Mem, taf, the farther you're away from chesed, the farther you're away from being a given person, so then you're an isolationist, you're narcissistic, you are mace. And the messages, the small things that we do, but create indelible impressions upon us, might not be immediate, but down the line, always, always, everything we do has an impact on our children, on our friends, on our spouses, on our grandchildren, all around us. Sometimes the impact is evident right away, and sometimes it takes time. But the message the Chafetz Chaim was sharing with Rav Shimon Schwab is what we do, especially when we hear that call. Do we step up to the plate, or do we just follow the pack? Part of that pack mentality, that sets apart the men from the boys, and ultimately the impact of those moves reverberates for generations.